Hello there guys and welcome, it is Sheeran here, and today it is time for episode number 14 of the Williams Road Career. I realise it's been so long since I last did an episode of this. I apologise, but with Grid Autosport coming out, I found it quite hard to do F1 videos at the same time. They will start to pick up a little bit, mainly only be the Williams Road Recovery season or series continuing. And nevertheless, we are here in Korea, not really a track I enjoyed too much, I found it a little bit boring. Round 14 of the calendar here in our Williams, but first, it's time for the qualifying report. In Q1 it will be Sebastian Vettel fastest by an incredible 0.6 of a second in front of Nico Rosberg and Fernando Alonso. Primes didn't work out for Jenson Button of McLaren, down in 17th on a strategy that almost caught out Felipe Massa too. The Sauber of Esteban Gutierrez was also eliminated. Q2 saw more of the same with Sebastian Vettel fastest, only this time by 1/100th of a second over Nico Rosberg and Fernando Alonso. Lewis Hamilton continues to struggle as Nico Hülkenberg just pipped Yusufu and Di Resta to the shootout. But when it mattered, the Ferrari of Fernando Alonso took pole in front of Nico Rosberg and a very disappointed Sebastian Vettel. The second Red Bull of Mark Webber took 4th place in front of championship leader Lewis Hamilton and the Singapore winner Kimi Raikkonen. So all of this means that Fernando Alonso will be on pole for the Korean Grand Prix in front of Nico Rosberg and Sebastian Vettel, with his teammate Mark Webber behind in 4th place. Lewis Hamilton will start in 5th in front of Kimi Raikkonen and Felipe Massa, with Sergio Perez in 8th in front of the Sauber of Nico Hülkenberg and the Lotus of Romain Grosjean. So as you can see, not a brilliant qualifying session in all honesty, coming 12th in the end on the grid. Not really a track I'm very good at, to be honest. Pastor Maldonado in the same sort of vicinity as us. We'll actually be pitting on lap 5 to stick on some primes. We'll be starting on the option tyres. As you can see, Fernando Alonso is on pole in front of one of the Mercedes and both of the Red Bulls behind that. Here we are in 12th place. Our rival, of course, this weekend is still Sergio Perez. I got asked to change it, but I actually don't know how. I tried to, but it didn't seem to work. In front of us, though, Di Resta and Romain Grosjean, and behind us, Jean-Eric Vergne and Pastor Maldonado. Our rival, and still Sergio Perez here. In Canada, in Korea, the 5 lights are on, and they are now off a really quite long hold there, actually. Get a decent initial getaway. Not a good start there for Nico Hülkenberg and the Sauber at all, having to drift over to the inside to defend from Grosjean, who brakes very cautiously and quite quickly actually there as well. But Di Resta there going out wide. Felipe Massa kicking up some dust on the AstroTurf around the outside of Grosjean. There we go. And up into 10th place already. Got Di Resta though to our inside. 3 guys going 3 abreast there in front of us. That's Hülkenberg, Perez, and one of the Lotuses, I think that is. Sergio Perez though backs out of it, and we're able to breeze around the outside of him. Di Resta is unable to get up the inside as well, and we lunge up the inside of 3 cars. I genuinely did not mean to do that, but they all brake so heavily, managed to get past Raikkonen, Hülkenberg, and Massa. Hülkenberg, who got such a horrendous initial getaway, has ended up actually gaining on the position. Now got Felipe Massa though bearing down as we go defensive down into the next corner after that quite long straight there as well. But Lewis Hamilton there in front of us, he's been struggling all weekend on this game for some reason here in Korea. I think he was 6th in all of the quality sessions. I can't remember where he started on the grid. I think it was 3rd or 4th. And he's down here in 5th as well. Not a brilliant start for the Brit either here. Of course, not quite as dominant the Mercedes on this game, but nevertheless coming through these quick corners here on the first lap around Korea yet again at Yeongnam. Not a brilliant track in my opinion, to be honest with you. Not one that really produces a huge amount of overtaking. But behind us, Felipe Massa still trying to do some overtaking. In front of us, Lewis Hamilton right with the Red Bull as well. But nevertheless, we're going to have to defend from Felipe Massa, surely. No DRS enabled, of course, here. Because we're only on lap 2 of the 14, that's only enabled on lap 3. Our rival, just to clarify, is down in 11th, being Sergio Perez, the Mexican, in the McLaren. But still, Felipe Massa surely going to bear down as we've used some curves on the exit of the first corner. But surely he's going to bear down. As you can see, the proximity arrow is going to the outside, and he's going to go up he's going to go around the outside. But I don't think he'll make that stick. We just about managed to hold on, but we've gone really wide there onto the AstroTurf. That's going to be an awful run. Absolutely awful run, and Massa's just able to breeze past us over the inside. Now comes Kimi Raikkonen in the Finn in the Lotus, and I'm really not getting along with these option tyres whatsoever. Raikkonen to the inside, we outbrake him and then go up the inside of Felipe Massa, touching wheels there just ever so slightly there. We're not really getting along with these softer option tyres whatsoever. If you don't know, of course, the option tyre, the softer tyre, and of course the quicker tyre, but it doesn't last as long, being the softer compound. And then obviously you've got the primes, which last a little bit longer but aren't quite as quick, and I think we'll probably get along with the primes around this track a little bit better. But as you can see, DRS has now been enabled as we click to lap 3 of this 14-lap race. Felipe Massa right behind us. Webber's now in 5th place. He's been passed by Lewis Hamilton. Massa there with the DRS. He's going to squeeze up the inside there. The AI really don't usually do that. He's gone through, but going to switch back up the inside. Almost a bit of a dummy sort of thing. With the showboats in there, flinging up the inside again of Felipe Massa and make the move stick. But look at this Massa all over the back of us. all over our gearbox behind that. Raikkonen and Hulkenberg, I think Perez is in there as well. There's a great battle going on for second as well. I wish we were up there battling for second, but nevertheless, we're just about holding on to 6 there, going a little bit deep, but just about managing to hang on in front of the Brazilian Felipe Massa in that Ferrari, who is looking extremely menacing on those option tyres, of course, the same that we are on. The tyres starting to wear just a little bit, as you can see, they're a little bit yellow, starting to go a little bit orange now as we move on to lap 4 in the DRS zone down this front straight. And actually, it doesn't look as if Massa's as close as he was before. Raikkonen still coming a little bit as well. Pardon me, I just almost burnt them for a second. But still, Massa looking up the inside, unable to make a move really. And Raikkonen thinks of going up the inside. That's Grosjean, I think, with them as well. I think Hulkenberg's been punted to the back of the group. And I think Grosjean there just about managing to get past Kimi Raikkonen there, which is brilliant for the Frenchman, actually. He's not been doing very well this season. Obviously, a lot of promise to do well at Monza, but then when he tried to go around the outside of us on the final lap of the race he ended up going off and into the gravel, and that pretty much ruined his race. But still, on to the start-finish straight then on lap 4 as we move ahead. Of course, DRS is enabled on the start-finish straight as well, not just the back straight. So there, Massa able to close in, try and go right around the outside there down into turn 1, but he's unable to do so there. Behind him, Kimi Raikkonen as well. I think he's managed to get past Romain Grosjean yet again. As you can see, the pit stop thing, I don't know what it is actually, what we would call it. The pit stop notification is flashing, which means we have to come in on the end of this lap, and Massa going to the inside there. He hits us. I was trying to give him a bit more room that we touch again down into this corner. We have to brake very, very hard there, and somehow just about make the apex. I think Raikkonen tried to go around the outside, but the AI basically drove into me. I maintained my line, and then I just got hit out of the way by Massa, and then hit by Raikkonen as well. Massa then trying to go around the outside again, down into this long left-hand corner, which I'm not very good at, I'm not going to lie to you, but still, as we move now further into lap 5, onto the pit stop, and oh, Jesus, Navas. I've made an absolute horlicks of coming into the pit. I hate this pit lane. It's absolutely dire, but still, we are in then for a pit stop here on lap 6 of this 14-lap race. Raikkonen there behind us has come in. I think Hulkenberg's in as well. Ricciardo and Sutil blasting past. I think Maldonado's about to come through as well. But Raikkonen then coming in. I think Rosberg and Vettel came in front of us. And yeah, there's Maldonado there popping around. It would later become apparent to me that he's actually on an alternate strategy. He started on the prime tyres. So it might just be a situation where if we can manage to get past him, he might just hold up Raikkonen. I don't know, but if we don't get past him out on the track, this could be, this could be huge, because obviously there's no team orders, but still, Raikkonen coming to the inside here, and he's breezed past. Did he even get DRS? We've done the same trick that we did on Massa though, a few laps ago, and managed to get up the inside there to reclaim 11th at the moment. Perez also came in, as well as Hulkenberg, I do believe. So a few guys coming in, but Massa and Grosjean staying out, Raikkonen bearing down on it yet again. How many times we've had to go defensive in this race is absolutely, it is ridiculous, to be quite honest with you. Really is quite ridiculous. In other news, I've tried to make this video a little bit shorter. I've got a few guys saying, would you mind making the Women's Virtual Career videos just a little bit shorter, maybe just 5 minutes shorter, as opposed to like 22 odd minutes. And it wasn't that hard really for this race so far, at least, because it hasn't been very entertaining so far. But there's an absolute disaster occurring. I don't know if you guys know, but we're now on lap 7 from 14. I'm sure you didn't know that because it's in the top right corner of the screen. Nevertheless, I don't know if you just saw who came out the pit lane. That was Romain Grosjean, and Felipe Massa. They've managed to leapfrog us in the pit lane despite us getting the undercut. They've got out in front of Pastor Maldonado, who we're now bearing down on. But it's an absolute disaster. We've lost 2 positions, and we're now down in a net 8th as we lunge up the inside of Pastor Maldonado right at the last minute. Go a little bit wide there through turn 1. Wasn't really the cleanest of moves, and has probably compromised Maldonado, which we don't really want, because now Raikkonen should be able to get past him quite easily. But still up into 8th here. 8th. On lap 8, in fact, and it's just a disaster. We could have had 6. We clearly didn't have the pace on the out lap compared to the guys in front on their in lap, and clearly this track is where the undercut is not that overpowered. And I mean, that's quite unusual. I mean, usually the undercut really does work everywhere, but nevertheless, we're in 8th place here of this 22-man field. We're not that far away, really, from Romain Grosjean in front of us. What do you call that? The overcut? I'm not entirely sure, but nevertheless, he's about 3, just about edging on 3 seconds in front of us as we come through the final corners. Unfortunately, behind Kimi Raikkonen has now been able to get past Pastor Maldonado, although Maldonado is doing an absolutely terrific job of holding up Perez and Hulkenberg. Yeah, Perez and Hulkenberg behind. He's doing a great job of that, but moving on now onto lap 11 here, and Kimi Raikkonen has well, he's caught us. Not going to lie to you, he's basically caught us. Here, we're on lap 11, and the gap now between ourselves and Raikkonen, only 0.4 of a second. Again, the tyres looking kind of worse for wear, really. I mean, they haven't really lasted a huge amount of time. They lasted pretty much the same as the option tyres did, really. I'm not entirely sure how closely related they are in terms of the hardness of the compound, but Raikkonen bearing down on us, then down that back straight, unable to make a move, not quite close enough. We haven't really lost too much time to Grosjean, it's still surmountable, but now later on into lap 11, and Raikkonen is all over the back of us there. We've got a huge amount of understeer, and then a massive snap of oversteer, getting too much curb. That was completely my fault, but the understeer before there, just the car and the tyres just basically saying no to turning through the corner. Pretty much on point there through these few corners. But Raikkonen now is, I mean, he's all over the back of us. And now moving on to the penultimate lap of the race. And Raikkonen with the assist of DRS is bearing down on us. You can see him. Now I'm looking behind that edge to the... I was sort of cheeky there, I'm not going to lie to you. Because I did in a way change direction. Because I went to the inside first, but I sort of edged back out to the racing line. But I don't really know. The AI aren't, that aggressive. So he just backed out of it. Behind that, though, is Perez. And I think Hulkenberg there as well is still the guy battling for well. He's in 11th. So this is how it stands, really. If I lose out to all three of these guys, I'm out of the points. Is basic. So the tyres are starting to go up ever so slightly. They're not brick red, they're not even orange, particularly. They're sort of that browny, verging on orange colour, which is sort of... If you're at this stage in the race, they're not going to drop off the cliff, but you're starting to lose a bit of time, and now Raikkonen all over the back of us through these quick corners, where I'm not really too confident with the car or the tyres, in all honesty. Throughout the series, really, understeer has been a huge problem. We missed the apex there of that corner, with a combination of me missing the braking zone and a bit of understeer too. Through this corner now as well, taking a little bit too much curb and a bit of grass as well, and then some more understeer on the exit too, and again out onto the AstroTurf. Really not confident with this car in the way that it's handling. Didn't do really a proper setup for this track, unfortunately, as Lewis Hamilton has the fastest lap of the race on there. Well, he goes on to the final lap of the race with a 1:42.5, I do believe that says. If I got that right again, that could well be two rounds in a row where I get the fastest lap correct to 1 decimal place. That is unheard of. Nevertheless, we've dropped so much time now to Grosjean. The tyres really starting to go off. We were basically keeping up with him for about the first 3 laps after coming out, then it just all started to go a little bit pear-shaped. Raikkonen now all over the back of us. Perez and Hulkenberg there as well, though Raikkonen not really as close as he was on previous laps, and I don't think really, just even with the assist of DRS and curves, or even just DRS, I don't think he's going to get close enough to even slightly make a move, unless he literally goes for a lunge. But down into this tight right-hand corner, and no, he's not even close to making a move. We've just got to make sure we hold on now through these more technical corners as we complete the lap, really. I'm not entirely sure who's winning. Hamilton's at the fastest lap of the race. I think Fernando Alonso's still winning. He got it on pole, so I'm going to assume he's probably still leading, but well out wide, and massively wide. Out onto the marbles as well. That's not going to do the tyres very well at all. Not going to do them much good whatsoever on optimal fuel, because I had to use a bit of the rich fuel mixture earlier when I started to drop time on Romain Grosjean. Didn't really work, and unfortunately, it's probably the one thing that actually kept us in front of Kimi Raikkonen. And now he's all over the back of us through that really high cambered corner. Now into this next corner, gone wide there again, understeer, just about keeping it on the track. Down into this right-hand corner, which I'm so bad at, as you may know from various sprint mode races. Yes, Fernando Alonso has won the race yet on this final lap for ourselves, but Fernando Alonso for Ferrari has won, and may well actually be his first win of the season on this. I'm not entirely sure, but still, we are down here in 8th place, in front of Raikkonen, in front of Perez, in front of Hulkenberg. There's not really that many opportunities for overtaking, despite the Finn being absolutely all over the back of us, but not many opportunities for overtaking. In fact, pretty much none from now on. We should be able to hold on unless we literally ditch it in, just throw it at the scenery, really. But I don't think we're going to do that. Coming through this final kink, although Raikkonen is right with us, bearing down. He'll get DRS as well, but just about holding on to the line. That was pretty close. Not going to lie to you, don't really know what the time was. I'm going to assume it's something like 1/10 of a second. We do hold on to 8th. Unfortunately, our objective was 7th. Bit harsh, so we started 12th on the grid, but our objective was failed, unfortunately, due to ourselves coming 8th instead of 7th. But here are the results. Fernando Alonso winning for Ferrari in front of Mercedes, Lewis Hamilton, and then Mark Webber in front of Vettel. Massa actually managed to leap up to 5th in front of Nico Rosberg, so we have actually got out in front of those guys. We may have actually caught Rosberg as well. And it was Grosjean, ourselves, Raikkonen, Perez, Hulkenberg, Di Resta, in front of his teammate Sutil, and then Jean-Eric Verne and Ricciardo. They're the two Toro Rossos. Jenson Button down in 16th. Horrible race for himself. Maldonado, our teammate, in 17th. The alternative strategy and starting on the primes really didn't work out for him, finishing 3 places below where he started. And then Esteban Gutierrez, Charles Piet, Guido van der Garde, Jules Bianchi, and Max Chilton there at the bottom of the race results there from Marussia. This is how it affects the driver's standings, though. It hasn't really been catastrophic for us. Mark Webber got a very good result, but both Raikkonen and Perez and Button all finished behind us. Hulkenberg again finished behind us, and Grosjean finished in front. Overall, though, it's Lewis Hamilton who leads it by 51 points, and then only 1 point back from that is Sebastian Vettel. Then it's Felipe Massa fourth in front of Rosberg, ourselves, Webber, Kimi Räikkönen, Sergio Perez, and Jenson Button there for McLaren rounding out the top 10. Then it's Hulkenberg, Paul Sauber in front of Grosjean, Gutierrez, Di Resta, Sutil, and Maldonado. Then Ricciardo and Verne in front of Guido van der Garde, Charles Pic, there, Max Chilton, and I think Jules Bianchi at the bottom there, which is odd. Nevertheless, the Constructors' Championship, though, Mercedes leading that one by quite some distance for Ferrari, Red Bull, McLaren, Williams, Lotus, Sauber, and Force India there, with Toro Rosso in 9th place. But nevertheless, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Williams Road to Recovery. I apologise if I sounded a bit nasally. I've got a bit of a cold at the moment, having just come back from that trip I was on, which is why it's been 5 days since the video. Although there was one, if you're watching this, there was one 2 days ago. Nevertheless, that's not important, but still, really hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you did. Comment about enjoying it if you enjoyed it that much. It's been an absolute pleasure ranting with you guys today, but I hope you have a brilliant day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.